If you haven't played through all of God of War, well, stop what you're doing and go play it now. And now with that brief spoiler alert out of the way, welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 God of War 2018 moments.
You will not do this!
For more gaming videos, check out our new spin-off channel, Mojo Plays, for in-depth reviews, thoughtful video essays, detailed character origins, and insightful commentary. Mojo Plays, games smarter. For this list, we're looking at the many memorable moments from the newest God of War, from the emotional to the epic, and everything in between. Number 10, every time Kratos calls Atreus, boy.
Get in the boat, boy.
They aren't calling this game Dad of Boy for nothing. At the start of the game, you get the sense that Kratos might refer to Atreus as boy every so often, and you're quickly proven wrong, as Kratos calls Atreus boy every other sentence.
Boy, we do what we please, boy. Boy.
Yes, it does get hilarious rather quickly. However, there is actually a reason behind this dialogue quirk. According to director Cory Barlog, Atreus didn't even have a name until later on in development, and so using his name as little as possible made recording a heck of a lot easier. Hey, at least some good compilations came out of it.
Boy, look at me! Look at me, boy! Boy!
Number 9, fighting the Valkyries.
A Valkyrie? Imprisoned? She actually did it.
A Valkyrie?
God of War quickly teaches you that it will not hold your hand, especially when playing on Give Me God of War mode. No matter what difficulty you're on though, your toughest foes are probably gonna be the Valkyries hidden throughout the world. Each one uses a slightly different set of moves from the last. As challenging as these secret bosses can be, finding our first one was both exciting and intimidating. One ass whooping told us that we'd have to come back with the best weapons and armor in the game though. Oh, and it feels really good conquering each one upon a revisit. Number 8, fighting the dragon.
Calm yourself, boy, and stay behind me.
This boss fight brought us back to the good old days. Our battle with this dragon is easily one of the best bosses in the entire game, mostly because a lot of the other bosses are reskins. With Atreus getting Sindri to safety, players are able to relive the glory days of taking down a massive beast, just like they did in ancient Greece. In typical God of War fashion, the boss fight is brutal, intense, and epic in every way imaginable. We can't help but ask for more when that sequel comes out. Number 7, Kratos relives his confrontation with Zeus in front of Atreus.
It is time, my son. Look around at what you have done.
While the truth about his father's identity comes out about halfway through the game, Atreus is left in the dark on Kratos' past for another huge chunk of the journey. Our first trip to the Nordic underworld showed us a very familiar face in the sky though, Kratos' father, Zeus.
Kratos. Zeus.
Zeus?
My father.
Your father was Zeus?
We knew very well that this wouldn't be the last time we see the King of the Gods. During their escape from Helheim, Atreus witnesses the final confrontation between Kratos and Zeus. Plus, in a neat throwback to the events of God of War 3, the player even experiences this moment in the first person, and witnesses Atreus' reaction right in their face.
When you saw.
I didn't see anything.
Number 6, Tyr's Vault. Tyr's Vault was filled with many weird moments. Anyone else think that map trap was a bit over the top? Anyway, after many deadly traps and challenging combat encounters, Tyr's Vault provided a few answers to the world of God of War. The most notable one is that all pantheons seem to coexist, which explains how a Greek god, like Kratos, managed to enter the world of the Nordic. Among some of the treasures they find, aside from the obvious, Kratos finds a jar of ancient Spartan wine, which he shares with his son. Fun fact, this was actually based on a moment Barlog had with his son during development.
Lemnian wine. The island of Lemnos. Near the place of my birth.
Number 5, Atreus kills Modi.
Nobody cared about him anyways. What's the difference?
There are consequences to killing a god!
Why? How do you know?
Shortly after telling his son that he's a god, Atreus starts turning into a pretty despicable kid. He's rude to Sindri, he starts fights with anything in his path, and his anger starts to take over his mind.
After the way you spoke of her, I questioned that.
What? That she wasn't a god?
She was better than a god, and you shall not dishonor her.
Fine. Carry her yourself.
Eventually, Kratos and Atreus find a humiliated and wounded Modi. As if killing his brother Magni wasn't enough, Modi is stabbed in the neck by Kratos' son. This was not something we were expecting Atreus to do, especially since he's shown some respect towards the gods. Needless to say, we weren't taking a liking to the boy's behavior at this point. Thankfully, Papa Kratos stepped in once they entered Helheim.
You are too quick to temper. You are rash, insubordinate, and out of control. This will not stand.
Number 4, Atreus' real name. There were quite a few times when God of War tricked us into thinking the adventure was over. Once it was finally at an end, though, we were given a bit of surprise. Kratos and Atreus find a mural showing the ghost of Sparta and his son, during which Atreus makes an unexpected discovery.
The giants called me Loki?
We totally did not see this coming. The shocking part in all of this is that Sony Santa Monica had dropped a number of hints alluding to Atreus' identity, such as his combat skills and a bit of dialogue. We can't help but feel that Avengers reference might have been a hint too.
Puny troll.
Puny god.
Number 3, meeting the World Serpent.
It's the world serpent.
If there was a moment that perfectly defines the new God of War, it's this. When we first enter the Lake of Nine, we are greeted by none other than Jormungandr, also known as the World Serpent. The size of the serpent practically symbolizes how big of a game God of War is, and that your journey is probably going to be a long one. You also have to appreciate the amazing detail in his design and animation. However, for gamers who are on a tighter budget, he's practically a walking statement that says, if only you had 4K visuals on a PS4 Pro. Man, this game's gorgeous. Number 2, debut fight with Baldur.
I thought you'd be bigger.
It wouldn't be a God of War game without some gods picking fights with us. So, when we heard a god knocking on our door, we came face to face with Baldur, or the Stranger as he's first introduced.
Fine. My turn.
Some may find that this fight kind of drags on a bit, but this was God of War's way of showing us just how violent and epic the game was going to be, which is, of course, very violent and very epic. Plus, this was an awesome way to reintroduce us to the Spartan Rage mechanic. All who oppose shall feel our mighty Spartan super fists. Well, except for Baldur, since he can't feel anything, but whatever, come on. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I was born a god, and so were you.
Focuses and amplifies the power of the Bifrost, opening the bridge to that realm. That's why realm travel is only possible from this room.
For instance, Odin hates the giants and they him. But Thor's own mother was the giantess Björgun, one of Odin's great loves.
Number 1, retrieving the Blades of Chaos. Be honest, who here started freaking out when Kratos said,
Then I must return home.
We all knew what Kratos was gonna get, right? The build-up was fantastic too, with a cameo appearance from Athena as Kratos reflects on the path he's about to return to, all culminating in a return of God of War's iconic weapons.
You will always be a monster.
I know. But I am your monster no longer.
Watching those blades whip around and slash our foes has never been more satisfying. The best part? Kratos had those same old moves from the previous game. Before launch, some fans were concerned that this game would have abandoned what made the original trilogy fun to begin with. It's safe to say that this moment put a lot of those fears to rest.
Yes, those blades will serve quite well in Helheim.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.